Elisa from Cambridge.
Yeah, where's Elisa? There she is, okay. Yes, is that good?
I knew Jude would come through for me.
He did. Okay. He had the magic fingers.
All right, so a month ago, my friend Nina was not yet my friend. She was a woman that I worked with that I feared and admired in equal parts because she was very tall and willowy and about 5 years younger than me. So she knew things like how to use Snapchat and why someone would want to use Snapchat. And she would just float into rooms and say things like, "Hey, guys, how's it going? If you had a spirit animal, what would it be? Mine's a whale." And then she would just leave before you could answer, and you would think about that for the rest of your life. So when the opportunity came up, I saw that we were both going to be two of the only single people at this wedding on the Cape. And I thought maybe we could share a room. And even better, inspired by her coolness, maybe she would want to camp with me. So I texted her, "Oh, yeah, man, I'm totally down. It's great." So I find a place. I make the reservation. I'm going to drive. I have a tent. And I say, all you have to do is bring a sleeping bag. Cool, got it. 10 p.m., the night before we're supposed to go, she texts me, "Hey, how's it going? Do you have an extra sleeping bag?" No, I don't have an extra sleeping bag. And I'm beginning to think that, like, a lot of my ideas, maybe this wasn't so great. And I say, "Well, do you still want to do this? It's not going to be very comfortable." And she's like, "No, I'm committed. We're going to do it. I'll bring some blankets. It'll be fine." So 8 a.m. the next morning, I show up at her house. Girlfriend rolls out of her apartment with a yoga mat and a hammock. And that was her solution. And because I am 5 years older than Nina, I would not do this. And I would not do this because I have already done it. I went camping with a bunch of people, and I forgot my sleeping bag. But I don't ask for help. So I took a tarp out of the back of my car, and that's what I slept with for 2 days in Maine. Even though there were 2 extra sleeping bags available, I didn't need them. I was okay. So we're driving, and I'm a little bit annoyed, but really, she is just a magical unicorn of a person, and I'm finding myself more and more delighted as we're going along. And we get to our campsite, and I realize that for Nina, asking for help is not a problem, and she just wanders into every single campsite and just starts asking for things. "Hey, do you have any shampoo? Do you have any conditioner? What's that face wash you're using?" And not only do people give it to her, they're delighted to do so. I have never made so many friends in New England in my entire life. I didn't know you guys knew how to small talk. You're okay at it. And then we go to the wedding, and the wedding's amazing, and Nina's dancing like Gumby on acid, and I'm having so much fun. And I, at the end of the night, I look for her around midnight, and she's carrying a giant ball of clothes. And it's not that she asked anyone for a sleeping bag. She just casually slips into conversation that she's going to sleep outside, and she doesn't have a sleeping bag with her. So one by one, all of these strangers gave her sweaters and fleece jackets and a pair of fitted sheets. And so so we're in our formal clothes, and she's carrying the sack on her back like a hobo, and we go back to the campsite and make what I can only describe as a nest. And I unzip my sleeping bag, and I put it over the 2 of us, and it's really quite comfortable. And I started to fall asleep, and she rubs my shoulder. She goes, "Hey, are you sleeping?" I say, I'm awake, thinking maybe like something's wrong. She goes, all right, cool. If you're having trouble sleeping, just think that you're leaving the day world behind and you're entering the dream world. Okay, got it. Thank you for the tip. And then I start falling asleep again. And she goes, a few minutes later, hey, are you sleeping? I'm awake, what's up? She goes, what are you thinking about? And I said, I'm thinking about how you pranced around this wedding and collected quilts from people like you were some damned orphan in a children's book, making a coat of many colors. And we just like break up laughing. I've never laughed so hard with someone I didn't know that well. And what I really have been thinking about since then is that asking for help means letting down your boundaries. It means letting people in and saying, this is what I have, this is what I don't have, here I am. And it's also such a beautiful way to connect to the world. Thank you.